Those wicked storms rumbled across 3 states, killed at least 12 people.
And they virtually wiped out much of a small town. Fox 8 News anchor Lou Maglio here now with the story and some devastating pictures to go along with it.
We have all of that, Tracy and Bill. Survivors are grateful just to be alive after these storms ravaged such a wide area and killed some of their neighbors. In Ohio, 5 tornadoes actually touched down in the southwestern part of the state. 5 to 8 people injured. 1 man died near Cincinnati. In the meantime, they're still in a state of shock in many parts of the Midwest tonight and wondering how to put their lives back together. The mere size of it was hard to fathom. Millions of people in fear, more than 20 tornado warnings in several states.
It's crazy. It's just nuts right here. There's people, their lives are in danger here with these storms, these rotating storms and these tornadoes that are coming down.
Started in Alabama, roofs ripped off, power lines snapped, and the storms got more and more powerful. Indiana, Kentucky, Illinois, Ohio, people took cover.
This is an enormous outbreak that's going on right now in Kentucky and across the Mid-South.
One man returned home to find his house of 30 years reduced to a pile of debris.
This is real life stuff here.
And here's video of a massive tornado touching down in Pekin, Indiana. This wasn't just a random scene, it was repeated over and over. This is amateur video of a tornado touching down in Memphis, Indiana. Police are saying the small town of Marysville could be completely gone. Meantime, it is an unspeakable disaster in Harrisburg, Illinois. A tornado with winds of nearly 180 miles an hour roared through.
It's a horrific event that's happened to us here in Harrisburg, and the loss of life, the injuries, the devastation is just, it's very profound and it's heartbreaking, to tell you the truth.
Stunned citizens try to describe it.
It was terrifying. I'd never been through anything like this. It did sound like the train coming through the living room.
Had this been at 10 o'clock in the morning when people were here shopping and just doing what they normally do, I think the damage and the death toll could have been much higher.
Well, 2 rounds of powerful storms are ripping the Midwest. CNN now upping the number of deaths to at least 14. The Weather Channel reporting 18, maybe more. Bill and Tracy will go live to one of the hardest hit areas to get a close-up look at all of that devastation, all of that destruction a little bit later on in this newscast.
More sadness. Yeah, thank you, Lou. Deadly outbreak of storms fired up early this morning. It did not let up all day.
And there are reports of more than 40 tornadoes across the Midwest and parts of the Southeast. Sandra Endo joining us live from Nashville with more on what's happening out there tonight. Sandra?
Well, Bill and Tracy, I can tell you this is the round 2 of this tornado outbreak. The first round of deadly twisters touching down earlier this week, but this one has so far been more deadly. So far, we can confirm 14 fatalities over 3 states just today alone. To give you an idea of it, it came down through Nashville just a few hours ago. We were riding through it in our car, getting pelted with hail, heavy wind, and rain. And obviously, this wasn't the worst of it because there are so many areas that have experienced devastation, like Henryville, Indiana, and other places in southern Indiana, where their local authorities saying that basically some towns and communities are just demolished. So clearly a very deadly day and evening for so many of the communities here that have experienced this massive tornado outbreak. Bill and Tracy.
So many communities were touched by this, and we've heard of reports of whole towns being wiped out, and you wonder where all these people are going to stay and kind of what they're going to do to get back to their homes eventually and collect what they can and move forward.
Absolutely. It's going to be a long, drawn-out process. We were just in Harrisburg, Illinois, and that was the hardest hit area from the first round of deadly tornadoes that touched down just a few days ago. And towns and communities there were just completely leveled in some cases. When you talk about the path of destruction for these tornadoes, and residents there, they're banding together, taking in some family members and friends who have become homeless because of this whole ordeal. So clearly, that is the experience so many communities that are in these paths of tornadoes are going through right now. And obviously, when daybreak comes, that's when the cleanup and recovery efforts will begin.
Boy, that video is just incredible. I mean, you can't even identify some of these buildings or homes or whatever they are that's just been wiped out. Sandra, what are forecasters saying? I mean, are these people, do they need to worry about more severe weather heading their way where you are?
Well, the threat isn't over yet for this whole entire region. We're talking about a swath of area between the Ohio River Valley and the Tennessee River Valley. As for Nashville and Tennessee, most of it is in the clear, and the good news for this entire area is that by tomorrow morning, the severe weather should be pretty much cleared up. So probably the worst is over for right now, but a lot of communities still hunkering down. We saw and heard the sirens and saw the warning signs that imminent weather was going to come through. So residents in these areas are being warned when they do have to take cover. But so far, everything is clear here in Nashville, and the worst has passed.
All right, Sandra Endo, thank you very much from Nashville tonight.